So today we're going to look at some fishing, but first of all we're going to look at something very important. What is that? Well, there's a clue right there. This is the new engine. As you can see, it's a very nice looking engine. All in perfect order. I believe, I'm not certain, I'd have to check, but I think it's about, looking at the label there, I think it's 2018. I'd have to check, but it's around about that. But this is the new engine, 20 horse, Suzuki, fuel injection, lean burn. Lean burn's important. Now, I'm going to say, obviously this is going to be the new engine, but I might drop to a 15 yet, or I don't know yet. We'll see how we get on with the boat. We'll see how she runs and fuel consumption, all the rest, because I've got to think of all these sort of things like fuel consumption and what it's costing to run and the rest of it. It's not just a case of throwing a big engine and blow a ton of money on fuel and then catch no fish. That wouldn't make sense. So there you go. But looks good. Right, let's take a look, walk outside. So what is that engine going on? Well, it's going on Orkney Fastliner 16. Don't worry about this, that was just me messing around. This is, I believe it's called a Dodger or something like that. It's just like a soft top cover. Could be useful though, when we have the camera in there, stop the wind. Now, all these hook things I'm probably going to take off because they were just to hold a cover to keep the water out, so I'll have to do some work on that. But they might be not good when you're fishing, having those hooks that can snag on ropes and things, and crab pots and that kind of thing. There's a bit of a dink there I'll have to look at. Just get that re-gelled. So, this is what it looks like inside. You'll notice there's floorboards down at the moment. I'm probably going to remove those because that'll be a big problem when we're doing pots and things with bits of seaweed, bits of dirt, and that will get under the floor, get trapped, bits of old fish. It won't be pretty. My plan is probably to remove them and replace it with like a rubber matting. You'll see there's a bilge there. We can move the bilge maybe forward a bit and then we can box around under the seat to hide the pump. Something along those lines. It's got a hand pump, but I'll put a different bilge in. I'll probably do it two separate systems because although it'll work like this, if there's ever a failure on the hand pump, then obviously your bilge pump won't work either if there's a hole or anything happens. So I'll probably separate those systems. You've got the electrics at the front, the battery will be in the front, and the engine's going to go on. I'm not sure about the reserve engine because we normally put it at the front for balance, so I'm going to have to think about that as well. What to do. Whether we use the 4, whether the 2 horse might be capable of pushing this, because obviously it's a lighter boat. It does have rowlocks and oars, so in theory you could row this. Being it is a lighter boat, my old boat, you wouldn't stand a chance. This would be a bit of an effort, but you could do it. You'll see that the keel, well, the side ones here need replacing the steel, so I'm going to have to replace that with new ones. Alternatively, I might use the keel band, the plastic one. I haven't decided yet, and the main one I'm going to do as well. So I've got to get the boat up on its side a bit to be able to get that changed over. Now, with the engine, these boats are rated at doing maximum of 22 knots with a 25 horse engine. I think 25 horse is the maximum engine that they say for these boats. We'll be using the 20, maybe using a 15 or a 10. I haven't decided on that yet. Like I say, that's going to be down to well, how fast I want it and how much fuel it burns, this kind of thing, because I've got to think of the sort of economics of it. It's no good going out catching a load of fish and spending a fortune on fuel. But this is the new boat for 2021. We hope. I've got to actually have a boat survey done to change my license and all that sort of stuff, so that's going to cost me an arm and a leg again for the licensing, which is really does my head in at times. But yeah, it's got a decent trailer, decent road tyres. Going to go over that as well. I might change over the clamps. Some of the clamps are rusty. I might just change those. We'll check the rollers out. I'm going to change the winch because I've got a brand new one which I've had for the other boat, which I always take off. I don't leave them on in case somebody decides to come along and pinch them, because it's normally only a couple of bolts that hold the winches on. So I will probably put my newer one on here, and we'll just put this on the other trailer, which will go with the other boat, because we'll probably just sell the other boat. So, but no, just needs a bit of polishing up, a little bit of maintenance here and there, and we'll be good. And the only other thing is this cuddy at the back. I might fibre it down to the floor, I might not. I haven't decided what to do there yet, because if I take the floors out, well, the thing is, the water basically goes all the way to the back, and it goes into that back, so it's not a dry cuddy, it's a wet, it'll get wet in there. So whether to try and stop the water going in there, making it a dry area, I don't know. Problem is, you've got things like this where the water can still find its way in and it can't get out. But I don't want all the water rushing to the back if I can help it, because it'll take all the weed and bits of pieces. Plus, if you keep the water in the centre of the boat where the pumping area is, it'll be better for when it's on its mooring and automatically pumping out, that kind of thing. It won't pull the weight in the back with the engine and or at the front, because it can't go all the way to the front, because that front cuddy is dry. Again, that front piece I might have to change it because it doesn't fit good, and the water can actually come down from the top if the cover's not on. We have to put a pole up with a radar reflector, probably over there, where like we had with the other one, and to have a light we need a light on as well. And rod holders, I mean, we can do the same as we did with the other boat. We can put a rod holder along here somewhere, maybe just in this area over here. In the centre, like I said, I might build a little box that'll strengthen the seat, because if I put a pot on that seat, you know, if it's banging, things are banging, it might be better to have something supporting underneath it. Plus, like I say, it can close the pump, so it'll be a good thing. And the fuel tank is over there. There's a giant fuel tank under there. I say giant, it's about 23 litre, I think, 25, 23, something like that. So, I mean, I've got various fuel tanks. I've got smaller ones, I've got several 12 litres, so I might use 2 fuel tanks as opposed to one big one. I like to use 2 separate ones, simply because if you get fuel contamination or anything like that, you have a separate fuel. Now, the fuel could have gone in the back there, but again, it's all down to weight. If you put all your fuel in the back, and you've got your engine on the back, and all the weight's in the back, then your boat's going to push water, which it won't be good. So, but it is a thought. I could still possibly put fuel tank in the back, then I don't need to worry about being a wet area, because obviously the fuel tank is sealed, and it means I don't need a great big great big thing like this. As you can see, this one is decayed. This is what the sun does. So I'm going to get brand new fuel lines. But like I say, keeping the fuel in the back might be a better option. It's all down to balance. Like I say, I've got to work this out. If I carry a reserve, really it needs to go at the front. I don't really want another engine on the back, because it'll get in the way when it's not being used, probably, even if it was on a bracket, and it adds that extra weight. So, and if I'm standing in the back with a tiller, the best option would be to have the fuel tank and that in the back, have the reserve on the back, have a steering thing here, and have an engine with steering. That would be a better option. But again, it's finding all this equipment, buying it all, and the cost involved. So, and will it be of any benefit apart from obviously balancing the boat? Or will it get in the way? We could even get a hardtop for it, but again, finding one. Now, if anybody knows the age of this boat, stick it in the comments, or if you know when they were built, because I'm struggling to find the age of these particular boats. They are Fastliner 16. They are not the well, there's another one, I can't remember its name now. What we got the Fastliner and the Strikeliner. I thought it was going to be a Strikeliner, but it does appear they did make Fastliners in 16. So yeah, if you've got any idea on the age, because I've been searching and searching to try and find the age of this, and can't find the age of these boats. I would have thought it's probably late 90s, but going by the fact that it's blue. Like it's got blue gel coat, but don't know on that. And that's its name, which I think is very appropriate. Dawn Fisher. Because when do we go out all fishing most of the time? Dawn. My favourite time to go. So the name will be staying. Because that is such an appropriate name for it. And hopefully this will get us out to some more marks further around. We're able to get to places quicker, like I say, travel further distances, maybe do some different kind of fishing. What kind of fishing? Well, we can go for flatfish, we can go for bream, we can just get our range a bit further. I do know some areas, actually where I live here, over the top of the cliffs there, where we can catch a lot of those fish. So, and I could get round this far. My old boat, I could have got round, but it would take such a long time. And of course, you've always got to think of things like weather, that you can get back again fast enough. But with this boat as well, it gives the option that you can always go around the other side of the island and make it into the harbour if things ever got bad, anything like that. But we'll pick our days when it's nice. So there you go. That is the new boat for next year. And during the winter, we'll do some videos working on it and what we're going to change on it. And if you've got any ideas or thoughts of what can be done to improve this boat or help, like I say, the rods, like things like the rod holders and cuddies and fuel tanks and all the rest of it, just put it in the comments and we'll build a boat, we'll fit out a boat for next year's fishing trips. So there you go, new for 2021. Now I haven't done a lot of fishing recently because my back is obviously giving me a lot of grief. I did get out yesterday morning. The seas were getting very mucky though, and it actually got a bit worse later on. Fortunately I didn't bother staying and I came back in. I did a few pots. It was pretty damn poor, to be honest. I was pulling up mostly empty pots. We did get something though. Second pot, small lobster, one clawed crab. Little one. And a one clawed male crab. I'll keep that one for myself. It's a nice size, even though it's only got one claw. Put me down now. Oh well, not great, but we got something. So there you go, that's what I'm going to be having for supper tonight, along with a lobster. Now I've thrown a bit more footage on the end of that just to finish the video off. It's earlier on in the year, it was some footage that I went out literally just behind my mooring in the bay. I didn't go very far at all. And I just shot around, did half a dozen pots and came back in on half an hour trip or something. But yeah, let's take a look at that. We'll see. We'll see if it's on here. Oh, there's spider crab here. Spider crab everywhere. Holy cow. Story of my life to see a spider. Just spider crab again. Normally that would be alright. A nice crab that. Getting so many. Too many. And this one. Ooh, that's hot. There, that's a cracking crab, but it's got one giant claw and one missing. I'll let him go. We'll live to see another day. Gotta get these done quick. Watch the rocks. They're under the water, but there are rocks. And that's, you know, it's a nice crab. I've already got a whole load of them today, so don't need any more. Well, 2 pots to go. In there, got small claws, but it might. Well, that's big enough. That's definitely big enough. There we go. Got one out there. Spider. I don't want the spider. Bad, but back it goes. That'll do, right there. Are they big enough? No, they'll be under. That one's a possibility, you know. Put it back there. This one will be under. That'll definitely be under. This other one is possible. It is. That is size. Lovely. Yeah, both sides as well. Perfect, we've got 2 lobsters out of that.